live from the 6th Street, Tarantotoy and Friends. Parikoys and Marikoys, good day to you all, and welcome to the Tarantotoy and Friends podcast. I hope you're all doing well today, and today is a very special day. Our friend today is someone whom I have known for 22 years. He attended part of Southeast School for Boys with me during our grade school and high school days. He graduated from De La Salle University, Dasmariñas, with a degree in Business Administration, major in Marketing and Advertising. He is currently a Philippine National Police Firearms Explosive Office certified and accredited gun safety instructor at Imperator Tactical. Parikoys and Marikoys, Tarantotoy and Friends gives to you Mr. John Rafael Angeles. Before we get started, the Tarantotoy and Friends team wants to sincerely say thank you for making time for us despite your busy schedule. And without further ado, it's pod time! Hello, Jay. Welcome to the show. Good day to you.
Hello, Paeng. Yes, good day to you. Very nice to see you after such a long time, no?
Yes,
And
yes.
nice to speak with you also. And hello sa lahat ng viewers natin. And
Yes.
thank you for watching Trontote and Friends podcast.
Thank you. Thank you for the warm words, kind words, brother. So, let's get right into it. Pare, how have you been?
Good. I've been doing well. Thank you. Despite the pandemic, okay naman lahat. Life is
Yeah.
good. And so, how about you? How are you?
Doing good. Hopefully we're now in season 2 and hopefully the Parikoys and Marikoys are very interested again to hear what the of course you and the other guests will have to say. And of course what is important is the sharings that you guys are doing. So thank you
Tama.
for that.
Right.
So for background context, brother, what was your journey prior to becoming a firearms instructor with the Imperator Tactical?
Okay, so I have been working in the corporate industry, so until now actually. And then as a pastime, I thought I'd teach basic marksmanship to, let's say, new gun owners and seasoned shooters maybe. So well, this course is the everything I'm teaching is actually for the benefit of new gun owners, but it also is a good refresher for seasoned shooters. Yeah. And
Mm.
so during my free times, sometimes I don't know what to do. So, and I've been training a lot with firearms. It's been my passion ever since. So it started out as a passion, which became an advocacy with regards to training with firearms. So I then started with Imperator Tactical. It is a it's it's a it's training. What do you call this? Um, Well, Imperator Tactical is all about training with firearms,
Mhm.
gun safety, and safe operation of firearms, and as well as knowing the knowledge and the basics of marksmanship. So, its intended purpose is to, of course, share the knowledge of basic marksmanship to everyone who is interested, whether you are a newbie, whether you've been handling firearms for quite a while. This course is still very important because it serves as your foundation if you're starting
Mm.
out with your shooting journey. So,
Okay.
ayan,
And,
share.
but prior to this, to your days in Imperator Tactical, I mean, what were you doing before that, brother?
Okay, so before that, I was in so well after right after college, I started working
Okay.
in a company. It's called Philippine Transmarine Carriers, which is a manning agency for seafarers.
Mm-hmm.
So I was in the training arm of the agency uh, as a marketing associate.
Okay.
And then after a while, I started to get involved with the research department, and then from there on, I developed courses for seafarers. So all the technical aspects, well, from a marketing guy
Mm-hmm.
going to something technical, I wasn't very knowledgeable of it, so I had to do a lot of consultations and a lot of learnings. before I can actually create a new course for our seafarers, for our global seafarers. So
Yes.
after then, I shifted. I was given the opportunity to work in in a company in Australia. So
Okay.
the owner of the company called me up, asking if I was interested to do their marketing. So, well, I accepted it. So I went to Australia for training, 2 months training. So I am their marketing consultant. At the same time, I do their customer service, and at the same time, I'm handling one department. It's they call it the research department as well. So I'm handling 3 departments at the moment in this company. It's called First Aid Auctions. It's an auction house in Australia. It's one
Mhm.
of the biggest auction houses in Australia in the jewelry industry, actually. So that's what I'm doing until now.
And where in Australia is this brother?
Oh,
This company?
Sydney, Australia.
Sydney, Australia. And then
Yeah.
from time to time you fly to Australia from the Philippines back and forth
Yes, I do.
in your
Yeah.
office
If they
there.
require it, yeah.
Mhm. And in terms of the marketing procedure that you're saying, activities, like what type of marketing
Mhm.
activities are you doing there? Are you promoting the brand? Are you uh,
Yeah.
supply chains? Where are you at here,
Well,
brother?
well, most it's more like promoting the brand. It's about
Mm,
yeah, more like branding.
branding.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's aside from that, promoting the auction itself.
The auction itself.
So yeah, in Australia and um, worldwide actually. So
Okay.
it started out as they started out as the traditional auction houses. So yung in-room auctions where you're in this place and you have bidders and the auctioneer all in one place. And then when the pandemic started, they shifted to online auctions.
Okay.
So yeah, so that's what I'm promoting at the moment, the online auctions.
What type of
So yeah, I
products?
am promoting their business through Facebook,
Mm-hmm.
Google. Well, YouTube is part of Google, so
Okay.
yeah, Google and online platforms basically.
What types of products, brother, are you
Well, fine
marketing and
jewelry.
auctioning? Fine
So
jewelry.
fine jewelry. So
Okay.
diamonds and all, all all the gemstones, necklaces. Yeah, basta fine jewelry.
All right. So that at least our viewers can have an idea of
Yeah,
what are you
yeah.
auctioning in those
Uh-huh.
auction houses, no?
And yeah.
And then going back to the Philippines, as a gun instructor and advocate, no, we are interested in what do you think is the historical general attitudes and behavior of Filipinos towards firearms and responsible gun ownership? Because you were
Mm-hmm.
telling me
Well,
earlier that most of the Filipinos have guns, no, in their
mm-hmm.
households, but then you were sharing to me that they might lack the proper training. Can you expound on that more
Mm-hmm.
on that idea,
Okay,
brother?
so if you think about it, we were colonized by the Spaniards and the Americans. Of course, them being the colonizers, they didn't want to hand out firearms to the Filipinos kasi syempre baka kung anong gawin nila, di ba? So they
Yes.
didn't trust us. So that yung pagka-conservative nila sa firearms, their laws, their strict rules, that's what we carried on. So kaya today, owning a firearm is actually a privilege rather than a right compared to, let's say, the states. They have the right to bear arms and we don't.
Yes.
Owning a firearm is actually just a privilege in the Philippines. So anytime the government can take um, your firearms or your ownership, they can strip that off from you. So so it's nothing like well the firearm industry here in the Philippines. It's nothing like it's not as open as it is in the United States. So it's kind of conservative. So
Okay.
and on top of that, a lot of Filipinos are not very knowledgeable when it comes to firearms. So if you notice, you go out, if you say this guy owns a gun, merong let's say, what do you call it, stereotype. So they stereotype your firearm ownership. So or you yourself, and what they think is always that the firearm is dangerous. So well, actually, it's not. It's
Mm.
actually the person who is dangerous because the firearm is just a tool, just like any other tool. Like
Yeah.
um, let's say yung machines. Let's say yung meat slicers. It's also a tool, and it operates as is, but safety starts with you. So yung operator, yung it's the safety starts with the operator.
Okay.
So the at the same with the same view, the firearm is also just a tool, and you yourself, you're the weapon. Okay, so a lot of people say the firearms are dangerous. Yes, it is because it's intended to be dangerous. We want it to stay dangerous. But just like any other tool, it comes with a safety manual or safety operation or user's manual, like
Mm-hmm.
how you operate it, how you safely handle it, just like any other tool. So, go back to your question. Ano ba yun? What are the views of the Filipinos with regards to
Yeah, the
firearms?
general attitudes and behavior towards the firearms and the
Attitude. Ayun na nga.
responsible gun ownership.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So the firearm industry in the Philippines is actually not that big. It's quite
Mm-hmm.
small, but a lot of Filipinos actually own a firearm. If you look at the numbers, PNPFU, I'm not sure what it is now, but it's a lot. You have millions of firearms, licensed or unlicensed. So if you think about it, almost a lot of Filipinos actually own a firearm, if not one or more.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so but the problem is we all lack training, and this is why accidents happen a lot here in the Philippines. You hear in the news um, police officers shooting themselves or somebody by accident. You hear private individuals
Mm-hmm.
with the same type of accidents. Let's say somebody cleaning their firearm, they end up shooting themselves. It's because they lack training, or also they're not applying the photos of safe handling of a firearm, photos of safety. It's actually the golden rule if you own a firearm. And for me, it's actually not just a rule. It's if you own a firearm, it should become a habit to you, something that you take with you every day at
Mm-hmm.
home or outside if you have a firearm with you. So yeah, um, yeah. So that's why I started with Imperator Tactical because I wanted to share the knowledge of um, s- firearm safety and how to operate a firearm. Okay, in a tactical manner. Okay, not in the sport shooting side of things. So yeah, I'm more of a tactical shooter than a sport shooter. Okay, so both sides are good if you practice both because they have a lot of similarities also, and the fundamentals are the same. So this is why I teach fundamentals of pistols or pistol fundamentals, or which translate to um, basic pistol marksmanship. Okay, so these fundamentals are actually the same anywhere you go, here in the
Mm-hmm.
Philippines, abroad. If you own a firearm, these fundamentals will never change. And that's why I started out teaching the basic fundamentals and not something fancy or something more advanced. Okay. But I can teach those, but I refuse to teach those because a lot of people up until this day, many Filipinos own a firearm, but they don't know the fundamentals of marksmanship. They don't know how to operate it. They don't know how to manipulate it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say strip it or assemble it or even shoot it. So and my purpose is to share the knowledge of how to shoot it accurately and at the same time how to handle it safely. Okay, so ayan.
But in terms of the basics, brother, no, in terms of the basic, let's say information or statistics, um, And of course, gun classification. When you were sharing with us, the Filipinos more or less no own a firearm. Uh, can we clarify that you think this is more of the smaller firearms like a pistol rather than, let's say, a AR-15s, or those heavy machine guns, no, compared to the states?
Yeah, I would say more of pistols. Because
Pistol.
one, because they're affordable. Yeah, they're affordable. They're more accessible, and they're easy to store at home or anywhere. And you can bring it with you. Okay,
Mm.
so most of the people, if you ask them why they purchase a firearm, they would say, oh, if I ask them why did you purchase a
Mm.
firearm,
Yes.
what is your intention? Well, they would say self defense. Okay, so self defense is um you could be anywhere when something happens, when an attacker comes. You could be at home, you could be outside of home, and a pistol is easier to carry, and you can take it if you have the proper permits. You can take it with you anywhere you go. So this is why I think most Filipinos own a pistol rather than um,
The
let's say
heavy.
rifles or shotguns. Okay, because these, if you own these, you can only keep them at home unless you have the proper permits to take them to the range, which is very hard to get these days, because you have to get these licenses, the permits to travel these firearms, and they're only valid for a few days. And it's such a drag to secure those permits.
Okay.
Whereas if you have a pistol, you can, and if you're qualified, you can apply for a permit to carry outside of residence, and it's easier to get that for a pistol. So most shooters, they have that because they want to carry their firearm outside of home, which is the intended purpose. Well,
Yes.
uh, the laws, the rules are too strict. Um, it's like they don't want you to be able to defend yourself, pero yun ang purpose of having or owning a firearm. But the government is actually limiting that.
Okay.
Um, Kasi nga privilege nga lang yung owning a firearm. So,
And
yeah.
in terms of the permits that you were sharing with us, brother, would you know, the for us, the viewers, no, who are not really familiar with the permit process, let's say the process of owning a gun, would you know how the process goes and securing these permits? Let's say I
Okay.
want to buy a pistol. What are the process that we have to go through?
Okay. So I won't tell you much of the process, but I will tell you the types of licenses that
Okay.
you must have to be able to
Yes.
purchase a firearm. Okay. There's actually just one license, which is the license to own and possess a firearm. So itong license na to, you must be a Filipino citizen above 21 years old, and you must be employed. Okay, you must have a job. Plus, kasi, yeah, you must be able to, you need a job because they should know, or they should see that you will be able to maintain this, your firearm. That's why
Okay.
they require an individual to be employed. Diba? Okay, so first is that they call it the LTOC, or license to own and possess a firearm.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then once you have that, and that is actually equivalent to, let's say, your driving license. Okay,
Okay.
so to make it simple. Okay, so merong different types yon. You have type 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and these types are actually um, the number of firearms you can own. So let's say type 1, you can own a maximum of 2 firearms, type 2, 5, and then type 3, 10, and so on. So pataas ang pataas. And the rates will vary. So you don't necessarily have to go to type 1 before going to type 2. You can jump from whichever type you want. Yung type 5, it's usually for gun collectors because you can own about 15 firearms. Right?
Mm.
15 or 25? Okay, I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the second type is so you have your license to own and possess a firearm. This will allow you to purchase your firearm and ammunition, or major parts of a firearm. Okay, so stores will look for that every time you purchase something um, related to firearms, whether it's a whole firearm or major parts or components. Okay, and even ammunition. So the second one is, so you have your LTOF, which is equivalent to your driving license. You have your, okay, so you'll be able to purchase your firearm now. Okay, so this
Mm.
firearm, you have to register this firearm. So the next permit that you're going to have is the firearm registration.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the first one is a license. This is only a firearm registration. So yung registration na to is actually equivalent to your vehicle registration.
Mm.
So it's that simple, right?
Okay.
Okay. So that's valid for, I think, 4 years. Now I think it's valid for 5 to 10 years. Okay. Um, Next, so let's say you have your LTOF and then you have a firearm. So that comes with a firearm registration. Now, let's say you want to bring it out of your residence. So you want to take it with you anywhere you go, um, anywhere permitted by the law. Okay. So the next permit you're going to secure is the permit to carry outside of residence, yung PTC4. Okay, so that will allow you to take your firearm anywhere. So, well, except for malls, well, of course, you probably see malls with the signs no guns allowed,
Yes.
except for public places. But if you're, let's say, walking the streets or anywhere that you're allowed to carry, then you can. Okay. The problem is, you can't just carry your firearm. There's a proper way to carry it. It must be concealed.
Mm.
So in the Philippines, they only allow you to carry the firearm in your bag. Okay, which I think is very, I would say, excuse me for the word, but stupid. Okay,
Yes.
because it's actually hard to draw when 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 you have an attacker right in front of you, so who's about to shoot you, for example. It's gonna take a lot of time drawing the firearm from your bag
Bag. Mm.
rather than from drawing it from your
Holster.
waistband
Mm.
or your holster, which is tucked in your waistband, which is something we don't allow. The PNP doesn't want that. Okay, but it doesn't. As far as I know, there's actually no law or there's actually no penalty for doing that, but they don't allow it. So,
Mm-hmm.
so I think so. Bahala ka na, whatever you want to do.
So
Okay?
so if ever, brother, the this types of who will check on me if ever I'm violating the law? Let's say it's the police who's gonna question me that sir, you can if ever I have a pistol outside of the bag, it's gonna
Mhm.
be the police who are the right authorities to question me, or can anybody
Yeah.
question me on that, or just the police?
Well, if somebody sees you
Hmm.
flaunting your weapon or displaying it frequently, then somebody could report you. They call the police.
Okay.
The police goes to you. Then they'll ask you questions.
Okay.
But no other individual has the right to question you why you have that. Siyempre, matatakot yun.
Yes.
And if they want to, they can report you to the authorities. But it's only the PNP who has the authority to check on
Okay.
you
Just to clarify.
and your
Mm-mm.
firearm.
And then just the earlier permits, brother, no. Do I need to apply for the permits before buying, or can I buy and then apply for the permits? Just to clarify.
Well, for the permits, I would assume you already have your license to own and possess a firearm.
Okay.
So before, for you to be able to buy a firearm and ammunition, you're supposed to have this license to own and possess a firearm. Okay,
Mm.
that's the first
A-
thing
And there are
you will get.
exams on this, brother.
Yes,
Like
it
let's say
comes
in
with, well, the exams would be just a drug, no, not that's not an exam, but a psychological exam.
okay.
So yun lang.
So the
Uh,
and where can we take these exams, brother? Who are the licensed services?
PNP
Who PNP
PNPFEO, so the Firearms Explosive Office. You can go to Camp Crame or any satellite office near you. You can
offices?
just look it up.
Okay. Just to clarify. Okay.
Yeah.
And then so that's the basics, brother, of the firearms, I suppose, no?
Yeah, gun ownership. So
Gun ownership.
if you want to learn more about gun ownership and laws, you can just read RA Republic Act 10591. So everything is there.
Okay. And then in terms of you're sharing with us earlier that you're part of the Imperator Tactical, your journey, I suppose. Can
Mhm.
you expound on that? How did you start with your interest in the firearms? What types of programs you're doing in the shooting range? And what
Okay.
services do you offer to the people, brother?
All right, certainly. Okay,
Thank
so
you.
Imperator Tactical. Well, if you ask, what a weird name, Imperator. What does it mean?
Yes.
Uh, it translates to the simplest translation is like emperor, pero the deeper meaning behind this is actually um kasi 'di ba nung time ng Romans,
Mm,
yung emperor yung leader ng
yes.
what do you call this?
Ancient Rome.
Yeah, ng gladiators, 'di ba? So
Yes.
he's the commander. Okay, so Imperator Tactical is actually translated to like a leader in tactics,
Oh.
or tactical leader, something like that.
So this
So
is
that's
based
what.
in from Latin or
Yes, of
yes.
course, of course. Right. High
All
school
right.
stuff.
Yeah, yes.
Ayan,
Latin
so yan.
classes.
Siyempre,
All
hindi
right,
ko
all right.
kinalimutan yan.
Of
Okay, that's so.
course.
When I thought about establishing or making a name,
Mm,
the first thing that came to mind was it's supposed to be Latin. It should be Latin, yeah, or something close. Okay,
yes.
so ayun. So that's how I came up with Imperator Tactical. Okay, okay. So again, Imperator Tactical is all about sharing the knowledge with regards to handling and operating a firearm, basically. Okay, so this started out as a, what do you call it? I would say parang vlog
Mm,
or blog posts. Okay, so I just normally go to social media, take some pictures, videos about my training journey, and then I
okay.
post it, and then I tell people what I do and why I do it, and then it helps people. Sometimes they ask, and sometimes they say, oh, that's a good point, that's a good drill. Thank you for sharing that. So okay, so that encouraged me to do more, do so I started, yeah, so then also, hello, oh, parang nawala na naman.
Parb, yes,
Nandiyan ka pa ba?
Pards. We are back. We lost you for a while there, but
Okay,
please
okay,
continue
so nawala.
your story.
Okay, so yeah, so I met people in the
Yes.
industry, and then well, this was when I was serious about my training already. So I started going to different types of training. All the basic marksmanship training I attended. I attended it, even though it's all the same, just to
Yes.
learn what other instructors would say about, or how, just to see how they would teach the lesson. But in the end, all the fundamentals are the same. So, but different instructors have a different method or different way of teaching. So that's what that was my goal, to learn how they actually teach it,
Mm,
or learn additional knowledge that instructors might have that others do not. So that's the reason why I started going to different um, um, trainings. Okay, so from there on, from the basic marksmanship, I moved on to more advanced courses. So andyan yung tactical pistol courses. You have close quarter battle. So something that
mm,
the military would do. So I was exposed to tactical shooting rather than practical shooting. Practical shooting is the sport. Kasi yung
okay.
puto pa lang ng putok sa targets, they score you. Tactical shooting is more like something you can apply to self-defense. Okay, so that's why I ventured into tactical shooting, because I was also interested in joining the military.
Mm.
So that's why I
Which
was leaning
branch
to
of the
to uh,
military?
to tactical. Any branch actually.
All right.
Yeah.
I thought you're
So
going to the Marines.
and well, if I could. But then I was, when I was applying, I was actually overaged already, so
Mm.
I had to take special courses, and I had to be. They wanted me to become an officer instead of just a enlisted personnel. Okay,
Okay.
so okay, so but that didn't go through because I had other opportunities. Uh, so I was blessed with other stuff. So
Yes.
yeah, nakalimutan ko na yan. Okay, but it's still, well, it's still my dream.
Of course. It's never too late,
Yan
brother.
pa rin yan. It's never too late. Okay,
Yes.
so and yeah, I started venturing into more trainings. I started attending more trainings, more advanced trainings, until such time these instructors saw my, let's say, what do you call that? They thought that I could do more than just be a student. They thought I could also teach, so they took me in as an assistant instructor for a
Okay.
tactical course. So I started teaching or assisting in um, tactical pistol courses. Okay, so composed of class of, let's say, 20 persons. These are 2-day classes. It's an advanced course, a step up from the basics. So we started teaching that, and then after that, I started to train even more. So I wanted to improve on my skills by myself rather than attending different classes. Say, if you attend these classes, you'll find that most of them are similar, the same. So it's up to you how to you're going to improve your skills, and that's with more practice or self training. So everything you learned, you can apply. If it doesn't suit you, then you can throw it off. And so what I did was just absorb everything that I can learn and apply it in my own trainings. So from there, people ask. I met more people, and these people encouraged me to. These people are also teach, and they encouraged me to start my own classes.
Okay.
So Imperator Tactical or from a vlog became a training school.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay. It's a
so aside from, so instead of sharing my knowledge for free online, which I still
mm-hmm.
do,
Yes.
I started teaching in person at the range on a basic marksmanship.
And where is this firing range, brother?
I usually teach. Well, I can teach anywhere,
Mm-hmm.
so as long as there is a range. But I usually teach at Bucor or at the Bureau of Corrections firing range in Muntinlupa.
All right.
So if you know where Bucor is, yung jail, it's just behind that facility.
Okay. Near
And
Bilibid Maximum Prison.
inside, not well,
Inside.
not inside, but
Bro, I
along
think it's
the
different if it's inside. I'm not sure if it's a shooting range
well,
anymore.
technically it's inside the compound,
Yes,
but
yes.
not inside
The
the
maximum.
maximum security compound.
Okay, just to
Okay.
clarify to our viewers. Okay.
Okay,
All right.
so it's along the border
Hmm.
of the facility of the
Okay.
maximum compound, just outside of it.
All right. And then if
Yeah.
ever, brother, what are the you have a team with this training? Fellow gun
Um.
instructors also who
No.
offer
The thing
classes?
is, no. Imperator Tactical is just me. Okay.
Ah, okay, it's just you. Okay.
Yeah, it's just me. So I didn't want to have the team because it makes everything complicated.
Okay.
So and my classes are very small compared to other training schools where they train 10, 15, 20 persons. My classes are very small. It's limited to 5
Mm-hmm.
because I give utmost attention to each and every shooter. Kasi
Okay.
each and every person have a different way of shooting. They have, well, everybody performs differently. So you have to be attentive to each and everybody. Kasi nga, yun nga yung advocacy ko to deepen the knowledge of the shooters and to really give them vital instructions on how to shoot accurately and how to operate a firearm safely.
Okay.
Okay, so that's why I keep my classes small. So because I give utmost attention to each and every individual.
Mm.
I look at
Okay.
every little detail that they do, and if I see anything wrong, or any if I see something that can be improved, then I improve on that. So isa-isa yung
Okay.
ginagawa for each and every person.
And just to some clarifications, brother, no, this uh, courses, no, is open to anybody, or is there
Yes.
any let's say requirements, like can I, for me who's not who don't have any background in firing and gun ownership, can I just, let's say, if I'm interested to attend your course, and if ever what are, when you're saying about the skills, the marksmanship, do I need to have good eyesight, do I need to be in, and what are the requirements on this one, or if there's not, if there's none, what do you think? How do we go about this, brother?
Okay. So sobrang daming requirements.
Mm.
I'm strict about it. Okay. So these are, just go to the range and meet me there.
Oh wow.
Okay.
So
So
it's
that's
open
it.
to, so it's
As long
open.
as you're in good shape,
Okay.
then you can attend my training classes. So the only requirements are, kidding aside, okay. So the only requirements are, of course, the course fee. Aside from that, you need ammunition for training.
Do you
So you're gonna
provide it,
buy,
or do we need to?
the range can provide it, and I can provide it. Okay.
Okay.
So, and then of course you need a pistol to shoot. Okay. So again, you can bring your own if you have one, and if you have the necessary permits, or you can rent at the range.
Okay.
Okay. So that's everything you need. Plus, let's say, protective gear like ballistic eyewear, or any eye protection will do. Okay. Um,
The
and
headset, brother.
I
Oh,
would prefer plastic. The hearing protection I
yeah.
provided.
Are
I
you
provide
also
earplugs. Yeah.
okay?
Okay. So yun lang. Just enroll. Go to the venue. See. Meet me at the range, and then we'll start from there. So, um, part of the advocacy is to encourage more Filipinos to get into firearms. Okay? Because the ultimate goal is to actually create, or let's say make more voices in the gun community,
Mm-hmm.
for us to be able to improve, or maybe influence the authorities or the government to improve the laws in owning a firearm, and anything related to firearms. Okay? To so the Philippines would be more open to owning firearms, and to having firearms, that it's okay, it's for everyone's protection. Because the government, if anything happens to the Philippines, the government cannot protect you. It's you yourselves who will
Mm.
protect you, your family, and the country. Okay, because our soldiers aren't enough
Mm.
to protect the country. You know what's happening to Ukraine,
Yes.
and what people are saying is that I should have I should have gone into firearms
Just
way
in
back.
case. Mm-mm.
No, no. So many wars in Ukraine, right? And now what they're doing is they're teaching civilians who have absolutely no knowledge in owning a firearm to handle a firearm to be able to defend their country. So
Just
if
now,
that
in the
happens,
middle, in the
yeah,
middle of the
in the
war.
middle of war, okay, if that happens, it's already too late. Okay, it's already too late, because you should have prepared the country, or you yourself should have prepared beforehand. Okay, so bakit pa natin hihintayin yun? Okay,
Yes.
why wait for that to happen? Why not start now? Why not get into firearms now, rather than wait for a war before you actually learn how to handle a firearm? Okay, by then it's already too late. Okay, so you won't have the proper training. You can train an individual regarding firearms, or firearm tactics, or techniques, in days or weeks.
Mm.
It takes a while. It takes months to learn to be effective and accurate with firearms. And yeah, it takes a while to build your skills with firearms. So ayun. So yeah, going back, part of my advocacy is to encourage more Filipinos to get
Yes.
into firearms. So this course is actually intended for anyone who has absolutely no knowledge with regards to to handling a firearm. Okay, so you don't need the skills to you don't need to have the skills now, because I'm going to teach you that.
All
I'm
right.
going to give you that. Okay, so ayan.
And if ever, brother, because you were just discussing just recently, the seriousness side of this of the gun and the gun ownership.
Mhm.
Are there any positive or let's say lessons that you instill in uh, in the individual itself, aside from the seriousness, meaning in the firing range, because I go through this course or I'm interested in the guns. Do
Mhm.
I let's say better my discipline as a person? Do I be
Yes.
more responsible? And let's say on the fun side, I also get to meet people in the gun community who gets to share their views. What's your take on this?
Yes. So absolutely. So, well, shooting is like any martial art. It teaches you discipline. Okay. So it teaches you discipline, and it teaches you um you should know that comes with responsibility.
Mhm.
Okay. So aside from the discipline of handling of safe handling, you should be responsible enough to let's say maintain your firearm, renew your licenses. Because what's happening now is, or even before, is that people secure a permit or a license, and then after some time, tatama rin sila, they fail to renew their licenses. Okay,
But they still keep
so
the gun.
but they still keep the gun, yes. So
Mm.
which is very wrong, because the PNP is going to go after you because they would have your records. Okay, so yeah, people lack the discipline, and yes, I do instill that discipline to each and every individual who attends my classes. That's actually one of the, well, safety is one of the important aspects of the training that I instill in each and every student,
Okay.
aside from the responsibility.
Mhm.
Okay, so parang ano it's like, if you, if you want to have if you want to own a firearm, you should know how to respect yourself and those around you. So
Okay.
yeah, respect.
All
Because
right.
if you respect yourself, you're gonna end up respecting your firearm. If you respect your firearm, then you'll be safe,
Mhm.
and
Okay.
everybody else around you will also be safe.
All right. And and then in terms of let's say people are interested in taking up your courses, and then these gun courses. No, what can people expect, do, and learn when going to the firing range, brother?
Okay, so as I
In,
said,
in terms of the guns.
I teach basic
Mhm.
marksmanship. So aside from the four rules of safety, which is the golden rule, I also teach the pistol nomenclature. Um, well, the basically the functions
Mm.
and the parts of the pistol.
Okay.
And aside from that, ammunition, how it works. Okay. And then I also teach, of course, yung fundamentals of marksmanship. So yun yung stance, yun yung um, grip, proper way of gripping a pistol. And then you have your breath control, you have your sight picture, sight alignment, and so lahat yun, lahat ng fundamentals of
Yes.
marksmanship.
Okay.
Okay,
So those are
that's the main lesson of the day.
okay.
Okay, because if you have that, uh, well, that is where you start your journey in shooting. So if you have that established, then you can develop your skills later on, okay, as
Okay.
you progress with your training,
All
and
right.
you can move on to advanced courses.
Okay.
Yun lang importante. You have to instill safety and the basic marksmanship. Yun
Okay.
yung foundation mo in shooting.
All right. And then I'm just curious, the when you said the advanced training, I mean, what do you mean by that? I mean, and what can we expect on when when you say advanced training?
Okay, so if you go to training, yung basic marksmanship is actually kind of boring. Well, but I try to my best to make it fun, but
Yes.
it's kind of boring because it's very basic, and it doesn't involve much movement. Kasi usually static drills lang yun.
Mm.
So you have 50 rounds. I will assess you. and you have to have good groupings with that 50 rounds, and should be able to learn to shoot accurately with 50 rounds. Okay, so by the end of the day, 50 rounds you're shooting, marksman ka na. Okay. Well, if you're able to um, to pass the test. Okay. Now, syempre, after the basics, you're gonna seek for more training. So, merong
Yes.
advanced courses. So, etong advanced courses na to, it involves, let's say, reloads. Kasi reloading, there's different kinds of reloading. So,
Mm.
merong tactical reload, may speed reload, may emergency reload, meron tayong one-handed operation of a firearm. So, how to shoot with one hand. Kasi what if your other hand is injured nga naman?
Yes.
How are you gonna operate the firearm? Aside from that, well, different tactics and techniques. Shooting in different positions, shooting from barriers, shooting from concealment, and all those stuff. So that's where the fun part goes.
In the
The,
advanced
the,
courses.
yung advanced forces, this
All
is
right.
where the fun begins.
The action.
So that will, yeah, yun ang action. Okay,
Yes.
that's where that's because these advanced courses involves a lot of movement. Okay, tapos at the same time, merong thrill, merong kaba,
Yes.
kasi you're shooting with a lot of people. So basic, I only allow up to 2 people shooting together because it's dangerous, and kasi newbies. Okay, yung iba nagugula, they end up pointing the firearm to somebody else. Okay, which is very dangerous. So sometimes you would see me at the range wearing bulletproof vest
Yes.
for my safety. Okay, so yun nga. Going back to advanced forces, that's where the fun begins.
But the bullets, brother, are these rubber bullets or really live bullets that
These
when
are live ammunition.
live
It could
ammunition?
be
Okay.
it could be factory ammo, it could be reloads, but these are live, and they can kill.
Okay. And just in case, do you have any medical services on standby? Just in
I do
case.
have a medical background.
Yes.
Because if you're a shooter, you should know how to make holes, stop holes, and plug holes. So if you're a shooter, you should know how to shoot. To translate it lang, you should know how to shoot.
Yes.
And if somebody shoots you, you should know how to treat yourself if you can.
Yes.
And if you can, you should be able to protect yourself, your body from being shot. Okay? So that's why meron tayong ballistic plates
Okay.
or bulletproof plates. And so yung advanced courses na yon, I don't teach them yet, but I do have other training other training schools other training schools who teach the advanced courses. These could be former military guys, former FBI or US police guys, so different backgrounds. Okay, NBI could be anyone from those fields. Okay, hindi natin alam, baka yung iba galing pang CIA, diba? So
or, if ever brother that we complete these courses, is there a chance that we might become a James Bond and apply for MI6 afterwards?
Well, yeah, you can if you have the ability or if you have the skill, diba? And if you pass their test, the screening, then you can.
All right.
Pwede.
Diba? And then brother, sorry.
Diba? Kasi nga if you have a pistol, it doesn't mean that if you have a gun, doesn't mean that you already know how to handle it. Or let's say even if you watch how to operate it in YouTube, if you don't practice it, then that won't make sense. You still don't know, you still don't have the necessary skill. Meron ng mga those in the armed forces. I have students who come from those branches. Okay? So ayan, sundalo na pero hindi pa masyadong magaling umawak. Okay? So a lot of them, they still go through private courses aside from what the government is teaching them or is providing. Okay? Because syempre, the government has a very limited budget. So if they want to learn more,
you have to pay.
You have to invest in your own training.
Okay.
So ayan.
And if ever, brother, I'm just curious lang, no? The state of the gun community in the Philippines, what can you say about it? Is it strong? Do you have a strong community here, or and the gun collectors, let's say? Or what can you say about that?
Uh it's, I would say, mixed. It's not.
Mm.
It's more like conservative
Okay.
because of the loss that we have and because of the stereotype of other people towards guns.
Mm.
Okay? So I would say it's conservative.
Okay.
Kasi nga, not many people have the knowledge with regard to firearms. Okay? Kaya ganun.
But
It's
there
not
are
like I said earlier. It's not as open as it is in the
okay.
states.
But
Okay?
there are communities, but there are active
Yes,
communities.
there are a lot
Just
of communities, but even if these communities are, let's say, I would say, even if they are pro gun, they're not actually pro gun. You, you get what I mean? There's something
mm,
deeper there, but I don't want to expound on it
of
now.
course, of
But
course.
parang gonna
We're
just,
just scratching the surface.
yes, yeah,
Okay.
exactly. So so there are communities that are pro gun but not actually pro gun. Yun lang.
Okay.
Basta ikaw na bahala doon para
Yes, yes,
maintindihan
of
niyo.
course, of course. To
Okay.
our Parekoys and Maricoys, no.
Um,
And if ever, brother, no, given all the experiences and what you've learned, no, what advices can you give to fellow gun enthusiasts or those who are interested in learning about firearms training and safe and responsible gun ownership? What can you say
okay.
about that, brother? What advice?
If you're planning to own a firearm, training uh training first is a must. Okay. Because that will also, your training will also help you in choosing which firearm you actually want to own. Because each and every firearm operates differently, or they all feel different. Okay? Hindi yan pare-pareho.
Mm,
Okay? So invest in training first before thinking of, or before actually buying a firearm. Now, when you get your firearm, invest in more training with your own firearm, because it's best to train with your own firearm. Because if you have, let's say, a Glock, and then you train with a 1911, it's going to be different. They both feel differently. They both shoot differently. Okay,
mm,
so it's best to train with your own firearm. If you already have your firearm, nakabili ka na, then go to the range, train with it, and invest in training. Invest and buy a lot of ammo to train with it. Okay, well, you can train actually with minimal ammo, but if you, let's say you have 50 rounds of ammunition, if you think about it, that's little. You can only do so much. But if you use each and every round, if you make each and every round count, and you train with purpose, then actually that actually builds your skills.
mm,
Okay, because a lot of people here in the Philippines, they own a firearm, they go to the range, they buy 50, 100, 300 rounds, and they just shoot and shoot and shoot and shoot. That to me is just wasting ammo. Okay. Ammo today is very expensive, just like it is in the States now. It's very, the prices are going up. Okay,
mm,
either factory loads or reloads, they all are, the prices are increasing, okay, as the day goes by. Lalo ngayon
mm.
with the war in Ukraine, so supplies are very limited, so everything is going up. Even ammo is affected. Okay, so go to the range, whether you have 50 or 100 ammo, make each and every ammo count, and make sure that you have quality training. Okay? Make sure that you have a plan if you go to the range. Okay, because going to the range without a plan and just shooting, 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 dumping rounds, it won't help you. It won't improve any skill. So train with purpose.
Train with purpose.
Yes.
All right. And if ever, brother, can you please invite our Paricoys and Maricoys to your social media accounts? And if you have any shout outs, please do so.
Okay, so Paricoys and Maricoys, whether you are a newbie, or if you are a seasoned shooter, if you want to learn anything about firearms, then you can visit my page. It's at Imperator Tactical in Facebook and on Instagram. So you can view my anything that I post there. But um, and then you can learn something from there, from some of my posts. But if you really want to be serious about training. If you want to be serious about owning a firearm, if you want to learn the ins and outs, the basic marksmanship, then I invite you to enroll in my course. It's called the Fundamental Pistol Class, and I teach every Fridays at the Bureau of Corrections Firing Range in Muntinlupa. So, guys, if you're interested, just hit me up, message me on Instagram and Facebook.
All right. So there you go. I hope our Parikoys and Marikoys learned something today with regards to firearm training and the importance of responsible gun ownership. Furthermore, the insights at the firing range provide us better detail with regards to the activities, responsibilities, and the different values that it instills on the individual. So, on behalf of Tarantotoy and Friends team, Jay, we wish you all the best in your career. We are very proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me here, Tarantotoy and friends. I am very happy to be part of your program.
Thank you as well. And I hope you all enjoyed this episode. Of course, if you want to keep updated for our podcast, we would greatly appreciate if you could like, share, and subscribe to our Trantoto and Friends social media accounts. Until the next episode, stay safe and please take care always wherever you are in this world. May you have a lovely day ahead and peace out.
Right.
Live from the 6th Street, Tarantotoy and Friends.